Hi, everyone. Welcome to Accelerate with Google 2026. 2026 is all about turning momentum into measurable results. Many of you would have already attended some of our sessions covering demand gen, moving into the science of measurement, even our previous AI Max session, and soon to come are our GML moments. We aren't just sharing updates, we're helping you build your marketing roadmap for the year ahead. So remember to join us for all of our sessions. Hi everyone, I'm Janvi. I'm a regional product lead for AI performance products, and I'm going to be your speaker for today. Before we move on to the next section, I want everyone to pull out their phones and scan the QR code you see up on the screen. We have officially launched the Accelerated with Google WhatsApp broadcast channel a while back. We know your inboxes are very, very crowded, so we built this so we can help you cut through the noise. You will get immediate access to insights from today's session, along with our latest campaigns and product updates, and also early invites for future cohorts. Scan this QR code now, hit join, and let's keep the momentum going. I will give you maybe 10 seconds more to just scan and join, and then we will move on to the presentation. Great. Welcome to today's session. Today, we will be talking about everything that's new and updated in search in 2026. Starting with AI Max for search campaigns and then also moving on to message ads. So here is our detailed agenda for the day. We will start by taking you through today's new and evolved search landscape. And then we will dive into AI Max for search, starting with an introduction to the campaign type, and then moving on to features, controls, and best practices. After which, our India lead for message ads will be taking you through the product and its best practices. So, starting with basics first. The search landscape today is very different from what it was 2 years ago. And I'm sure you all even see this as users of search day in and day out. To break it down at the highest level, there are two key ways that AI is evolving and has already evolved Google search. Number one, AI is evolving the questions that people are asking and also how they are asking these questions. Number two, AI is also evolving the results that we as Google provide. So let's dive into the first one, how the questions themselves are evolving. AI Overviews brings the helpfulness of AI into the main Google search experience. And it's one of the most successful launches in search in the past decade. AI Overviews now has more than 1.5 billion users in more than 200 countries and territories every single month. This means that Google Search is bringing generative AI to more people than any other product in the whole world. People who use AI overviews are more satisfied with the answers they receive, and they are also searching more. We are seeing that as people learn what AI overviews can do and can help them with, they start asking new types of questions, including more complex and even more nuanced questions that they wouldn't have typically come to Google with in the past. With AI overviews, we're showing more links to a wider range of sources across the internet directly on the Google search results page. This creates new opportunities for content to be discovered and delivered. For you, this also creates more opportunity for businesses, creators, and publishers, and also more quality opportunities. When people click from search result pages with AI overviews, these clicks are higher quality for websites and businesses, meaning that the users that are actually clicking are more likely to spend more time on the sites they visit, therefore delivering higher quality users to your business. Next comes AI mode. AI mode is a total reimagining of search. It takes full advantage of Gemini's advanced capabilities, expanding what AI overviews can do with more advanced reasoning and multimodal capabilities so you can help users even with their most toughest questions. People are using AI mode for help with exploratory and open ended questions, along with even more complicated tasks like comparing two products that a user is thinking of purchasing, exploring more how to queries, and even to plan a trip. Users of AI mode are actually asking much longer queries too. And these queries are 2 to 3 times the length of traditional searches on Google. You'll find AI mode as a new tab directly in search or right from your search bar. AI mode is literally loaded up with all of our best AI features and capabilities. The new era of Google search means new business opportunities for you. Search is the greatest platform for capturing, comprehending, and creating intent at the most incredible scale possible. The evolving ways people are searching are literally just providing us with richer signals of context and intent than ever before. And this is an opportunity to provide your users with the most relevant ads. With the reasoning power of Gemini and search, we are moving beyond simply understanding what a user is looking for to discerning the why behind the query. We can even take a search that doesn't have obvious commercial intent, but still understand that connecting the user to your product or your business will be the most helpful next step for that user in this moment right now. And often, that connection you will see will be your ad, and that is where your next incremental conversion will come from. For example, take this search for why is my pool green and how do I clean it? Or what is the best investment given high inflation and potential recession? These are highly complex questions with lots of angles, including commercial opportunities. Here, the AI can predict that your product is exactly what the person needs right now, and it can show your ad at that right moment and help the user. This creates incremental opportunities for your ads to show up when your consumers are actually ready to take action, whether they know it or not. As Google search gets more helpful, the opportunities for your business to show up continue to expand significantly. So, to help you do this, to help you show up in these moments, we launched AI Max for search campaigns. It is the newest member of the pack, built specifically for the evolving search landscape of today. AI Max is the one single solution that prepares your campaigns for the future of search ads, including ads in AI overviews and in AI mode, the newest inventories on Google search. AI Max is made up of three main features, and it learns from your website's landing pages, your already inputted ads, and even your existing keyword lists to info what you sell and when it would be most relevant to show your ad to your user. AI Max's features leverage Google AI to optimize your ads in real time and tailor your creative message to reach your customers and drive more value for your business. Now, let's deep dive into the three features of AI Max. The first feature is search term matching. This is the feature which helps you expand your campaign's reach over and above your existing keywords. It does this through a matching technology where the backend Google AI uses billions of signals like a user's purchase history, the user's browser, user's device, the time of search, and also the user's location, combined with your signals like the existing keywords, assets, landing pages. AI does all of this to truly understand the customer's intent and then decide whether it is the right time to show your ad or not. AI Max pivots from just words that the user is typing to the actual intent behind the user search and is hence able to find even more demand on search that is relevant for your business. Here, it's very, very important for you as marketers to note that the Google Ads system handles keyword and search theme prioritization following very, very clear rules. We hear this very often on ground from you saying, will AI Max cannibalize my other campaigns? What happens to my campaigns without AI Max? What happens to my existing keywords? The answer is very simple. Between PMax, AI Max, and the regular keyword match types in your regular search campaigns, the higher ad rank always wins. However, if the user search query is identical to an eligible search keyword of any match type in your account, the search campaign with that particular keyword will be prioritized over PMax and also over AI Max. So that is the one rule that I would want you to remember, and let AI Max take care of everything else. The second feature of AI Max is text customization. This feature creates individual ad variations in real time to make to make the ad relevant to each customer for each of their search queries. Text customization uses your existing assets, headlines, landing pages, and generative AI to create a customized ad in real time, where there is a chance of driving up the CTR and therefore getting more clicks and more quality traffic on your website. The third feature of AI Max is final URL expansion. Here, Google AI crawls the content on your site to find the URL most relevant to the user's query at that point, and it looks at the user's intent, and then it directs the user to this relevant landing page to drive up the likelihood of a conversion. If a user query is relevant to the content on your site and you are entering the auction with your targeting, URL expansion will ensure to crawl landing page content and utilize all Google AI features to find that one most relevant URL to the query that your user has searched. And then it will direct that user to only that particular landing page. So, for all retail advertisers out there, this is a great example of how AI Max functions for your user searches. Now, as you can see on the screen, a user has searched skincare for dry, sensitive skin. Two things are happening in your ad account right now. Number one, a broad match keyword has matched to the user's query. Number two, AI Max's keyword list targeting has also matched to the user query. Now, either your responsive search ad will show up, the one on the left side, or AI Max's text customization feature will take over. As you can see, the RSA, which is the one on the left side, is very, very generic. It is basically an ad speaking about the brand skincare line. However, the AI Max customized ad, which is on the right side, this matches exactly to the user's query, speaking about the problem as well as the solution, ensuring the headline talks back directly to the user's search query. Then, final URL expansion makes sure that the user lands on the exact landing page looking to solve problems for dry skin. So, what has AI Max done? It is matched to the right user query through search term matching. Number two, it's shown the right ad copy to drive up the likelihood of the user clicking through, so increasing your CTR through text customization. And number three, it has ensured that the user lands on the most relevant landing page, making sure to um, try and drive up the conversions on your landing page, therefore trying to increase your conversion rate and the likelihood of a conversion. And it's done all this at the right time. Now, here is a similar situation for all the lead gen customers out there. Here, a user has searched best payroll software for small businesses with 47 employees. This is a very direct, quite a complex search, quite a complex question. AI Max ad copy has shown a headline exactly matched to the user's query. And it's also ensured that the user lands on the landing page catering only to small businesses. Again, All three features of AI Max are working super well together, and we're helping the user land on the right landing page to drive up the likelihood of a conversion. Thus, AI Max has ensured to show the right message to the right user at the right time. Now, today, we want to make sure that this session is fun and engaging for you, and it's not just me talking through 100 slides. So, we will have a small quiz with a few questions at the end of every section today. You will have 45 seconds to answer each question. So, please get your phones out. It's time for our first quiz of the day. And remember, if you give the right answer, you get a point to help you climb up the leaderboard. That's not it. The single fastest person to answer correctly gets a reward sent to them to their address after this webinar. We'll reach out to winners for logistics on the coming Monday. Now I'm giving you 15 seconds to scan the code and enter your details. Make sure you use the same email you registered with so we can track you. If you see the form popping up right next to this live stream on your screen, you can use that too. It's the same form. Okay, I'm going to give maybe 5 more seconds here. Okay, looks like most of you are in. Get ready. The timer is starting to run. You have 30 seconds. What is the one single search solution that prepares your campaigns for the future of search ads, including ads in AI overviews and AI mode? A. Performance Max campaigns. B. AI Max for search. C. Phrase match keywords. And D. Responsive search ads. If you know the answer, lock it in now to beat the clock. Okay, final 5 seconds. Get those answers in. 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Here's the right answer. This is just the beginning, so I really do hope most of you got it right. So, AI Max is literally the one-click solution in your existing search campaigns that can help you do all of this. And it is known to deliver 27% more conversions at a similar CPA and ROAS for campaigns that are mostly using exact and phrase match keywords today. Now, I'm going to take you through a few new and updated controls for AI Max, a lot of which don't exist in any other Google Ads campaign type. So please listen closely. As explained earlier, AI Max has three very helpful features, which are search term matching, text customization, final URL expansion. However, what is the most important is that it also has relevant controls, spanning across targeting, brand, and creative as well. First, targeting controls. And we get a lot of questions on this one, but I'm going to try to really explain it to you in very simple language today. First is something called locations of interest. Locations of interest is available at the ad group level for your AI Max enabled campaigns. It is best suited for accounts that have a particular account structure based on differing locations. For example, this would be relevant for travel advertisers trying to target flights to Singapore as keywords in a particular ad group or campaign, or for commerce or retail brands who only have select retail locations, or when product availability differs by location. So you're trying to target green dress in Gurgaon and not green dress in Mumbai. All of these are potential fits for this feature. As a reminder, locations of interest is the primary granular control for geo mismatches within search terms. Your location targeting, which is at the campaign level, if you want your ad to show to only users searching from India, that stays constant. Locations of interest is trying to help you refine the keywords that you show up for and not the locations that you show up in. I hope that's clear. But please note that this is a stricter control. And when you do apply this, and if you haven't applied it earlier, you may see a small difference in your volume generated in from your campaigns. Moving on to the second, which is brand controls. For a lot of PMAX advertisers, you may already know of this one, but these can be useful if you've segmented your search campaigns as brand versus non brand within your existing account structure today. As a reminder, these settings do limit the universe of keywords that you can serve on. So, if as of today you haven't applied this feature, there is a possibility of performance um, changing a little bit based on the usage of brand settings. But for your brand focused campaigns, you can feel free to add a brand inclusion list, which will ensure that that whole campaign, even with AI Max, will only show up to users that are searching for your brand name or variations of it. And if it's a non brand campaign, you can add your brand list as an exclusion, ensuring that you only show up for generic terms from that campaign. Next is the third control, which is creative controls. The first one out of this is final URL. These controls would prove useful to your strategy in case you have strict preferences around where your traffic is directed to once a user clicks on your ad. Now, I'm going to give you a few examples of where this would be relevant based on your business type. For example, in a lead gen account, you may have a specific service that requires a specific landing page to funnel leads correctly to your backend teams. Then you would want to exclude all other categories of landing pages at your campaign level. Once again, using URL controls can severely limit the performance uplift of AI Max as a result of limiting the number of landing pages that are able to serve. So, ensure that your campaign setting directly aligns with your marketing strategy. Please remember that text customization and final URL expansion work better together. So let's take a moment to understand why that is the case. Why would we not recommend just search term matching? And why do we always recommend you to do all three AI Max features together? Enabling final URL expansion fundamentally shifts text customization to now create assets from your entire domain, from all of your landing pages, and not just from one singular landing page. This helps make your ad copy more relevant to the user in real time. However, one more important thing to note is that using final URL expansion overrides all of your asset pinning as of today. And it will thus result in asset pinning being completely ignored because the system may select to show a URL that is different from your original input in your RSA. Therefore, pinned assets are disabled to prevent mismatches between ad copy and the final landing page that's served. Now, moving on to some more controls that you have for the text that's generated for your text customization. You can use our feature called text guidelines to maintain brand voice and protect your brand safety in case those are important for your brand. Leverage term exclusions to add exact keywords or phrases that you want excluded from all generated assets. For example, if you never want to show the word discount, you never want to show a particular city's name, or you never want to show a particular product that you used to be very famous for and you don't sell anymore. You can include all of those as term exclusions so that they will never be showed in your generated text assets. And you can use messaging restrictions to specify what concepts, associations, or styles to avoid in your text assets. I'm going to show you a few examples of this. Messaging restrictions are meant to help steer your brand tonality in your ads. Here are some effective ones that you can use. You can say, don't imply our products are discounted. This restriction is very clear. It will ensure that terms like discount and phrases associated with discount don't appear in the generated assets. Or you can mention, never mention any city names in my ads. Again, this is very clear. This will prevent all city names from populating in your ads. Now, on this screen, here are some messaging restrictions that may not prove to be that effective. For example, giving a restriction based on ROI would not work as a text guideline because this is not built to promise a specific ROI. That is something that your bidding strategy will do. Always ensure that your messaging restrictions are clear, are simple, and are straightforward. Now, anytime we pitch AI Max, we do get asked this question: isn't my existing setup already covering what AI Max does? I have search campaigns, I have PMAX campaigns, I am using a little bit of broad match, I have a DSA campaign. The answer is no, because AI Max, as I explained in all of the previous slides, has multiple unique features that are unique to AI Max and do not exist in so many other campaign types. So, to help you better understand what is available where, here is a chart that compares AI Max, PMAX, DSA, and broad match. I'm not going to go too deep into this, but I would urge you to notice how AI Max and PMAX, the first two columns, together can provide you the highest coverage across all mentioned features. Okay, now that you've gotten a refresher on all of AI Max's features and controls, let's move on to quiz 2. You have 15 seconds to scan the code and enter your details. Okay, looks like most of you are in. Get ready. Here's the question. Read very carefully. Timer's running. What AI Max controls can help split branded versus non-branded traffic? Is it keywords added to the campaign? Is it final URL exclusion? Is it brand list inclusion and exclusion? Or is it messaging restrictions? You have about 13 seconds left. If you know the answer, please hit it on the screen right now. If not, you have a few seconds to think a little more. Okay, time is up. Let's see what the right answer was. The right answer is brand list inclusion and brand list exclusion. Hope most of you got it right because we did do a deep dive into all of the controls in the previous slides. Now that you've learned about the controls, the features, and also about the future of search ads, I'm now going to take you through the ways that you can run AI Max, either through testing through an experiment or through direct implementation in your search campaigns. For all first timers with AI Max, you do have the option of running an A/B experiment to understand how AI Max can expand your ad reach and deliver on your goals incrementally. As long as your campaign is already using a smart bidding strategy and is not capped out on budget, and if your goal is to get expanded reach and scale, you are good to go. Feel free to set up the AI Max test with a 50-50 budget split, giving 50% budget to the non-AI Max arm, which will be the arm that will function just the way your campaign's been functioning as of today, and give 50% budget to the AI Max arm, which will function as an AI Max campaign. So once you start your experiment, there are some best practices to follow. The first 10 to 15 days or 1 to 2 weeks are your learning period. Avoid major changes like bid or budget changes and minimize keyword and creative changes too. Post the learning period, feel free to review your campaign and optimize your serving by adding negative keywords, URL exclusions, text guidelines, etc. Now, let the campaign run and keep reviewing your key metrics, whether they are CPA, ROAS, or just volume. After a minimum of 6 weeks, evaluate the campaign performance and analyze its results based on your set targets. Ensure to exclude the learning period and conversion lag for your account when you're evaluating the final results of the campaign. Also, for all advertisers that are doing a pre-post test, please be mindful of seasonality with sale or peak seasons, as these might affect your pre and post campaign results. Now, Here is how to implement AI Max directly in your existing campaigns if you're not going by the experiment route. Simply go to your campaign, click on campaign settings, and toggle the AI Max button to on. That's it. This will enable all three AI Max features in your campaign. And you can add text guidelines from under text customization. And to exclude certain URLs, you can select Add URL exclusions from right below the final URL expansion opt in settings. Both of these you can see highlighted on the screen in the screenshot. Now that you know how to set up AI Max, here's a quick list of basic best practices. And for all advertisers that are either commerce or lead gen, we will be going through best practices for your business lines a little later as well. But these ones are just the generic best practices for all businesses. Number one, measurement is key. Ensure accurate reporting with correctly set up conversion tags and enhance conversions and data driven attribution turned on. Number two, your bid strategy, bidding, budgets. For bids and budgets, use a smart bidding strategy and ensure your campaign is not currently limited by budget. And as discussed already, what is very important is that you have a clean account structure. If you have brand versus non brand campaigns, ensure to apply the right AI Max features based on your campaign. And last, the user is going to land on your website. So review your landing page experience to ensure that it's exactly what you would want your final user to see. We also suggest reviewing your landing page content as it could be used to generate automatically generated assets from the text customization feature of AI Max. To maximize results from AI Max for search, your campaigns do need sufficient budget headroom. What does that mean? Basically means that AI Max needs the space to perform. It needs some amount of budget to spend. Otherwise, it will not be able to show you incremental results. Campaigns that are currently limited by budget will not be able to capture the full growth opportunities that AI powered solutions enable because these campaigns already don't have enough budget to serve on your existing keywords. So, the best next step here is to increase budget and then activate AI Max. So, feel free to use the recommendations tab within your Google Ads account to find the suitable budget for that particular campaign. And then after that, enable AI Max in it. Now, on to the last section for AI Max. Assuming you've turned on AI Max, you've optimized it, you've used the controls, and now you have reached the end of your learning period, or maybe you're a few weeks or a few months into your campaign. We will now look at the reporting of post-campaign results. We have reporting available for each feature of AI Max, and all this reporting sits directly in the Google Ads UI. So you do not need to reach out to your account manager to receive reporting on different AI Max features. For search term matching, there is a keyword report that shows performance stats keyword by keyword. And there's also the search terms report that shows all incremental matches to indicate matches from AI Max. For text customization, the search terms report shows the full set of metrics at the search term, landing page, and headline level. And this will show results for advertiser provided headlines and URLs as well as Google generated. You can also use the asset report to see the asset combinations and the final URL generated by AI Max to see what are the ad combinations that are proving to be helpful for your business that AI Max is providing to you directly. Last, for final URL expansion, we have a landing page report that shows performance stats aggregated at the landing page level. Now I'm going to just talk a little about my favorite report for AI Max. So for the most holistic view of every feature of AI Max together, head over to the search terms report, the regular search term reports that you would anyway be seeing for your regular search campaigns. Go to the drop down on the right side and filter to a section called search terms and ad combinations. Here, Look at the relevance between the query, which is the user search term, the ad copy, which is the headline over here, and the final landing page, which is your URL expansion. View performance metrics for each of these. You can see the CTR, you can see the clicks, impressions, conversions, CAC, conversion rates, and even ROAS and conversion value. From here, only flag the queries for negative keywords if you don't believe that the relevant ad makes sense for your product offering and if you believe that the performance doesn't align with your performance goals. Now, we're nearing the end. I'm just going to be taking you through best practices based on your particular business model. So, for all commerce advertisers, um, let's talk about just a few quick best practices. And over here, commerce is really anyone selling a tangible product that can be ordered online. Think of a D2C e commerce business or even an offline store that also has a website for online sales. First, your data foundation is key. Ensure to implement a value based bidding strategy like maximize conversion value or target ROAS. This will help AI Max work towards your actual revenue goal and your actual business goals. In order to not lose out on the tracking of conversions, set up enhanced conversions for web as well. Next is account structure. Within your campaign, ensure to organize ad groups by product categories or even campaigns by product categories. In case your campaign is not generating enough volume, merge a bunch of low volume campaigns together for better data aggregation, better learning. In order to simplify your account, minimize the occurrence of overlapping or duplicate keywords between campaigns or ad groups. And remember that the AI will work for you only if you give it a helping hand too. Provide a diverse set of text customization features. So provide a diverse set of headlines, descriptions, even assets like message ads that we will be speaking about, or business name, business logo, structured snippets, call outs, etc., to make sure that we're able to generate the most relevant ad copy and relevant landing pages. Talking about landing pages, use URL exclusions to exclude all irrelevant URLs in order to ensure that your users always land on the most relevant landing page. Now, for all the lead generation businesses in the room, I'm looking at all the education, B2B, and tech businesses today. For you, the best practices are all about improving your lead quality. Unless your goal is volume, then AI Max does that instantly. First, ensure to use the lead generation goal in Google Ads while setting up your campaign. Next, use offline data to align your measurement setup to your actual advertising goal. This will help steer our AI towards the most ideal lead for you. For your website, don't forget to optimize your lead form. Validate each lead form submission in order to reduce spam leads. Last, similar to commerce, utilize URL exclusions and other campaign specific controls to ensure high campaign optimization and the best results for your business. Okay, moving on to quiz number 3, the second last quiz of today. And the last one before we actually begin the message ad section. The timer is on. You have 15 seconds to scan the code and enter your details. Remember to use the same email ID that you used while signing up always. And looks like most of you are in. Get ready. Here's the question. Please read very carefully. You have 30 seconds to answer. What report shows reporting across search term, dynamically generated headlines, and landing page? A, keyword report, B, landing page report, C, asset report, D, search terms report. 10 seconds to go. All right, time's up. This is the report that I took you through just in the previous slide. It is the search terms report. Again, hoping most of you got this right. Now I'm going to be handing it over to our product lead for message ads in India.
Thank you so much, Janvi. Super excited to be here, folks. I have the opportunity to discuss message ads, but my God, like the AI Max session was amazing, right? Let's see how you can further amplify your search strategy with one of the hottest new channels that we have in the marketplace, which is messaging. So, what is message ads? It's the quickest path from interest to action. With a single click, you send the user directly from Google search, which is where every discovery happens, to directly to your brand's WhatsApp channel, right? Your messaging channel. So if you have a great landing page, that's fine. But everyone loves talking. Every like India as a market, we all love chatting with the business. We all love having that direct line with the business, understanding more. Let's say if someone wants to buy a car or wants to understand more about a university, about the courses they offer. It's always good to be talking to a bot or to a business directly and get more information quickly, right? So this is what we've launched. We're very excited to show you, and this is how it works. The button that you see in front of you directly takes the user directly to the WhatsApp instance, in this case. Now, how does it show up on search? And right now it's only showing up on search, and it shows via as an asset via your search campaigns, or maybe even via the PMAX campaigns, but just limited on the search inventory. Basically, it can show up in two ways. One is a button format, which is where you see the whole send message on that messaging platform as a large button. But keep in mind that the headline will still take the user to the website. And then there's a new format that we've launched, which we're very happy and excited to show all of you, is the message forward format, where messaging and website both are equally prominent buttons on the campaign. And if you have a business that is invested heavily into the messaging ecosystem, you drive X percentage of your leads or your revenue through messaging today, or messaging is a really critical channel for you from a business vertical standpoint, then we recommend really using message forward format. We'll talk about it in the upcoming slides as to how to set this up. The one thing that we do in this format, in the message forward format, and even in the button format, is we auto create the conversation started conversion action, and that's something that should delight all of you. So for example, if a user clicks on that button and he or she lands up on the messaging platform instance, which in this case is WhatsApp, when the user clicks on the send button, we automatically capture that conversation started and we report back into your AdWords UI. So you as an advertiser don't have to create there's no tech burden on you. You don't have to create a new conversion action, and we'll talk more about that in the upcoming slides. So let's see how can we activate it, because I'm sure all of you want to understand, okay, this is great and exciting. So how do I set this up? It's it's very easy. Just taking some time. Yeah, perfect. So you just go into new campaign. You have to choose leads as an objective over here. And then you select search as an individual channel once you do it. And then you select message from your ads as a goal over here. This is really critical because that's when you're telling your campaign to optimize for messaging and not for any other conversion action that maybe you have a lead form or a website conversion action or something. You make sure you deselect Google Search Partners Networks and your display network over here, because we want the campaign to serve on search inventory. You select your location, your languages, and your basic other targeting that you do. And then once you move forward and you're at the asset generation point where you have to create keywords and assets, that's where you make sure that you create this new asset. And we'll just come to that. Let's just write a few keywords over here. Yeah. So once you do come to the asset section, this is where this will come up new, and you go scroll down and you click on plus new message asset, and you select the platform. For India, I think WhatsApp is the most relevant one. You add in the phone number of your business, which is live on WhatsApp Business. And this is really critical. The starter message has to be super contextual, super unique. It needs to be something that the end user, when he or she looks at it, they want to send that message. They want to talk to you as a business. They want to be able to get more information. So make it highly contextual as per the keywords and as per your business. Don't keep it very vanilla, like I want to know more, or tell me more. Like, let's get it more contextual. Add in a CTA, and yeah, you're done after that. So that's how easy it is to set it up, and that's how you can deploy messaging as an asset across your one campaign or even at an account level. So you could do this at a campaign level, or you could do this exercise at an account level also, and it will get deployed across all your search campaigns today. So this is what we do now. One thing to keep in mind for first time users over here, for first time advertisers that have never set up message ads before, the leads from messages goal will not appear in the initial campaign goal selection workflow. Just select the leads objective and simply click continue to bypass this process. Because once the campaign is created, you can just go back. It will be auto created then, and you just go back into the campaign settings and you manually apply leads from messages as a goal within the campaign. Your campaign, at the end of doing all of this is how it should look at it. Your marketing objective should say leads. Your network should be Google search. Your conversion goal should be campaign specific and should be looking at leads from messages only. And bidding, I'll come to this in a while, but you start with maximize conversions, and that's when you start. After we have a few learning of a few weeks, we start moving to TCPA, and we start optimizing with AI Max also coming into the fold. Now, understanding, just spending a minute about, like, if you folks have questions like how do I do that manual selection, where do I see it? So you go into campaign settings, you go into conversion goals. It'll be for most of the campaign at account default. You go over there, you make it campaign specific, and leads from messages, which will be a Google hosted conversion action. Like I said in my earlier slide, you don't have to create this conversion actions. The moment you set up this asset, it gets auto created in your account, and it gets auto created, auto tagged to the number that you've added, and you just select it over here. The one other thing which is really, really good, like if you as a business have multiple WhatsApp business accounts, you have multiple WhatsApp numbers, you can create multiple different assets at a campaign level also. So let's say if you're a university and you have one WhatsApp number for engineering, one WhatsApp number for law, one WhatsApp number for some other line of education, you can create at those asset levels, and you can attach a different asset to the different campaign, and that way you can really drive a lot of spread from a search, and also get a lot of users contextually. So now I'll spend a minute more on how the message asset has to be set up. Basically, what I emphasized on was the 0.6.2, which is over here, which is providing a starter message. Now, this is really, 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 I cannot stress enough on this. I've personally seen a lot of drop-offs happening when the brands don't use a good enough starter message. Spend some time on this. Look at the keywords that you've added into the campaign. Look at the keywords which are triggering your campaign, which are triggering the asset, which are triggering like good conversions for you. And add contextually relevant starter message over here. So let's say if I am in the market to buy a car, let's say an SUV, and I get an ad, and the starter message say, hey, I want to buy a car. It won't be, I mean, like, I'll be like, okay, but I have to now delete the starter message, and it's just too much effort for the end user. Like, the message then should be like, hey, I want to buy this SUV, or I want to buy this particular model of this particular year, because that's when the user gets excited that, okay, this ad understood what I wanted. It was highly contextual, and it drove me to the right path. And I'm sure that whoever is sitting on the other side of the messaging platform will understand what I need, and I won't have to go in a back and forth with them. So this is what the user sends you. So make sure that you set it up with some thought. Now, what does the learning period look like? Similar to all other campaigns that we have, you launch it, you give it at least 2 weeks. And when you launch it, make sure that the budget is such that you can get about 20 to 30 conversions very quickly. Because as we get those, our system starts learning more and more. By week 4, we should have about, we should get start optimizing towards about like with campaign best practices, and we should start looking at what is the TCPA. In between, sometime we should start, when we start scaling it, that's when we enable the AI Max feature, which Jahanvi just spoke about. And then I personally think it's a fantastic feature. Whenever we've enabled it in our CTM campaigns, it's only made the campaign go up like a rocket. So let's do that. And then after 4 weeks are done, you sit with the account manager, you sit with their teams, you understand what's the keyword analysis, what kind of keywords are triggering message assets conversions versus search conversions or website conversions. I'll give you an example for, I can't name the client, but there was this client that's into insurance, and messaging was triggering for keywords like emergency XYZ insurance, or emergency health insurance, or emergency, which otherwise would not be a landing page where the user would want to go to the website. But suddenly, because this was time sensitive, the user were happy to click on the message asset, get talking to the client ASAP, and get the solution or whatever they wanted. So we have seen cases, folks, where messaging is unlocking newer keywords where your current infrastructure, like your website or a lead form or a call, might not be the best landing page for the user in that situation. So it's not just unlocking a new channel, it's also unlocking a totally new world of keywords that you would otherwise not have won or not would be not bidding towards, because your current landing infrastructure is not serving it properly. The one other thing which we do in messaging, which is really, really critical, is we don't stop at tracking upper funnel conversion. Now, I'll spend 2-3 minutes on this because this is critical and important. We as Google, we give you a base level conversion action, which is called conversation started. So like I said, it's a conversion action which tracks how many users are sending messages on a messaging platform once they go from search to that messaging platform. But let's say that doesn't help you folks, and for a lot of lead gen clients, you want to understand, okay, of the 100 people, let's say, who came to my messaging platform, how many ended up downloading a brochure, or how many ended up asking for directions to the local dealership, or how many asked, maybe made a small amount of payment. And some of you, or most of you, work with something called as a partner, called as a messaging partner or a BSP, right? Now, what this enables us to do is to get lower funnel conversion tracking also. So whatever conversion actions that you folks have defined within your messaging ecosystem, we can take those up and we can bring it back into our Google ecosystem, and we can start optimizing towards that also. But for that to happen, we need to make sure that scenario one is there and we have enough data that is being sent from Google to your messaging ecosystem, your messaging chatbots, and then leveraging the BSPs, leveraging the messaging partners. We've done a one-time integration with some of them, and you can reach out to your Google AM for further information on this. But it goes through a very simple click ID protocol, which all of us are pretty much privy to. We add a unique code on the starter message, and hence I emphasize on the fact that that starter message is really, really, really critical. Do not worry if people delete that starter message. We still have that unique code, so we don't have to worry about if someone removes the starter message. Does it mean that the conversion tracking goes for the toss? It does not. We've done the integration at a code level over there. So this helps us track load funnel conversion actions in WhatsApp, on any other messaging platform that we work with. This is something we've seen immense success, but with a handful customers. So today, I would request all of you to start message ads, send traffic to your messaging platform, your messaging bots. And if some of you are working with your messaging partners like BSPs, then in that case, you start speaking with them for lower funnel conversion tracking or going deeper into the funnel of, okay, how many people are really downloading brochures or how many people are really, let's say, asking directions to a store or to a dealership. Now, how do we see performance for messaging, right? Because this is a new muscle. It's you are you see a CPA at a campaign level, but when it comes to an asset level, because messaging is an asset for all purposes, you see it at an asset level, all the various performance that we see. So you go to campaign, you go to assets further, and you click on that message button that you see at number two. That's when you segment by conversion category, and then conversation started comes up over here. Now this is where you see your CPA, and this is where you compare the CPA of message asset, which is your cost per acquisition, to your other assets or even to your generic campaigns or to other campaigns that you need. And you do a pre and post, give it like 28 days, and then you understand, okay, what is the CPA today on message asset, what kind of keywords are driving the right CPA, and then you over index and under index accordingly as per the data that you see on from a CPA standpoint. Now let's move on to some best practices, because messages does have a lot of best practices, and these are really critical. So if you folks are jotting down, this is the time to just make sure that you keep this in mind. You start your initial keyword strategy should be pick up your top 15 performing generic brand keywords, and you put them as broad match or as a in the messaging campaign that you start with. As you start the campaign, you will see that conversation started starts appearing as a conversion action. Identify search queries early, queries which are driving conversation started. Like I said, we've seen a few time sensitive queries drive a lot of conversation started versus queries like which are long tail in nature. And then you enable AI Max within 15 days, and with the exception of website URL expansion, because then it conflicts with how messaging will show up, because we want it to show up as an asset over there. The other critical best practices, and if you have 5 of these, you will have messaging show up as the message forward format, in which it shows up as a button alongside website as a button, and that is where the real unlock happens for you as a business. Make sure that there are no pin headlines in the search campaign. Make sure that you give unique and contextual starter message. Our systems look at this very, very seriously. Make sure that you have leads from messages as a primary conversion action at a campaign level. Make sure that you have a business name and a logo. Like, these are best practices which are not just limited to message assets, it's just limited to search. The more trust signals that you folks give to your search campaigns, the better they show up, and the more relevance, they have more relevancy to get the clicks, and the CTRs are better. And make sure that you have image assets in the campaign also. You follow all of this, and there's no reason why your messaging strategy will not see very high quality traffic come from Google into your messaging journeys. We'll also take a few FAQs that we've heard from the market, because we launched it last year, and we've been improving it. We've been taking a lot of feedback from the market. Now I'll quickly take these. What counts as a conversion? Like I said, the moment the user sends the initial starter message from chat, that's when we start counting it as a conversion. Does it require technical setup? No, that's the best part about it. No tagging or code changes are required at your end. Just set up the campaign, see the magic happen. What will be the user experience we like? The end user, it's pretty seamless. They are on Google search for something, they come directly to the messaging platform. So for them, it's pretty seamless. Will the keyword or the campaign cannibalize? It does not, because the auction determines which ad format is most likely to convert based on the user behavior. What is the recommended keyword strategy? You've already covered that. This is basically your top 15 performing keywords. And then how do you ramp up your bid strategy? You start with maximize conversions, give it 30 days or maybe about 30, 40 odd conversions, and then you start going into TCPA or TROAS if you have value also coming in. We've also heard a few objections from a bunch of you when we were doing a closed pilot. What we've seen is that there was one about what about the lead quality. If I don't have lower funnel conversion tracking, will it be bad, will it be good? What we've seen personally is that this format acts as a natural filter because this is messaging and the user goes on a journey with the business and you as a business control the journey. The format acts as a natural filter. Like I'm sure bunch of you advertisers have elaborate journeys on messaging apps like Messenger, WhatsApp, etc. Right? So that journey automatically acts as a natural filter. And Google, because this is a pull-based advertising, and we're taking in traffic from search and sending it to a messaging platform, you don't have to worry about whether there's junk coming in because the traffic is actually coming in from Google search, which is one of the best inventories that we have. So, and it's high quality, it's relevant to the keywords that you are bidding towards. So it actually is driving good quality, and we can work with you at a as and when you start scaling on messaging, we can start working towards it. If you feel that still you want maybe a better conversion percentage or lead quality percentage, that's when we start speaking to a messaging partner and a BSP, and we start optimizing towards lower funnel conversion action. There were two more objections that we heard. There was one about what about my leads? Do they go waste if, let's say, my business is off over the weekend? It does not, because unlike, let's say, a phone call, or unlike, let's say, any other format which is FE funnel in nature, this one sits in your messaging platform or in your CRM or in your WhatsApp, and you can always come back to them on a Monday. So it's that way. It just stays with you. The lead stays with you as a business. And what if you really? This is something we heard from a lot of you, that you rely heavily on calls, but the generation and the kind of user population that we have today is, I would say, highly multitasking in nature. I see people doing calls plus messagings plus, let's say, writing on the side. So there is a certain generation that wants to be able to talk to end advertisers and get stuff done quickly. Calls sometimes can be redundant, can sometimes take a lot of time, and people can abandon the calls. But messaging as a platform allows for instant gratification, and that's where I think it wins as a channel for all of us to invest in. Now, like Janvi said, we are moving into last quiz. So why don't we all get our phones ready, and you will have 15 seconds to scan. Let's start. Okay, I think most of you folks are in. So which of the below is not a best practice for setting up messaging ads? You have 30 seconds. Let's go. Is it having an image asset? Is it leads from messaging? Is it primary conversion action? Is it having a pinned headline in the campaign, or having a verified business name and logo? 9 seconds. So let's move forward. Time's up. It's actually C. So don't have pinned headlines, folks. If you have pinned headlines, it doesn't serve in the manner that we want it to, which is the most effective manner. And that's yeah, that's messaging. Over back to you, Janvi. Take it home.
Thank you, Rohan. I think that was a very, very engaging session for all of us about message ads. Now we're reaching the end of today's session, and we will soon get started with Q&A. But before that, let's take a moment to synthesize today's learnings through these quick 5 takeaways. Number 1, opt into the AI Max full feature suite. Using all 3 AI Max features together leads to the highest performance uplift. Number 2, Google Ads keyword prioritization follows clear rules, as it always has. The higher ad rank always wins unless the user search query is identical to your inputted keyword. Number 3, there are many additional controls available in AI Max today. You have your negative keywords, URL exclusions, text guidelines, locations of interest, and brand controls. Number 4, transparency. Transparency is available through keyword reports, search term reports, asset reports, and landing page reports, all directly in the Google Ads UI that you can view at any time as you please. Number 5, ensure quick action through message ads. you just went through a full 15 to 20-minute session on the message ads feature. Remember to use message ads to convert your most qualified, high intent search traffic directly into active leads that are ready to interact with your business. Like I mentioned before, we have officially launched the Accelerated with Google WhatsApp broadcast channel a while back. We know your inboxes are crowded, so cut through the noise, join this channel. As explained earlier, you will get immediate access to the insights from today's session, along with our latest campaigns and product updates, and also early invites for our future cohorts. Scan the QR code now, hit join, and let's keep the momentum going. I'm going to give you a few seconds to scan and join the channel, post which we will move on to the questions and our answers to them. Okay, assuming most of you have scanned and joined the channel, now we're going to address some of the questions that you shared while registering. In the meanwhile, please do see the feedback form that would have popped up on your screen. It will just take 1 minute to fill this feedback. This feedback will help us improve all of our upcoming sessions. But most importantly, when you fill this feedback, you will get access to the deck from today directly. So all of the slides that we just presented, you will get straight access to them as soon as you fill the feedback form. So please do start filling it. And now we will just move on to the questions. Okay, starting with question number 1. We heard from you. How can we improve quality leads apart from just keyword optimization? So, to ensure high quality leads alongside AI Max's full suite of features, you do need to use robust measurement methods within your Google Ads account, such as enhanced conversion for leads and data driven attribution. If you have both of these, we will ensure to capture all your leads at different stages, and we can also attribute the leads and the actual conversions directly back to your campaigns. Ensure to also input the most relevant ad copy for your set of keywords. Use as many assets as possible for search campaigns, and make sure your final landing pages are of good quality and easy to navigate for the user. All of these different things together will ensure that the user is seeing the right ad, landing on the right page, and giving you the highest quality of conversions. Everything else from keyword matching to dynamic ad copies and helping your user land on the relevant landing page will be taken care of by AI Max. So I would say do enhanced conversion for leads, turn on data driven attribution, ensure the quality of your ads and your landing page are good, and then turn on AI Max and optimize towards your most relevant, most important conversion actions. Hope that answers your question. We will move to the next question now.
Okay, I think this is about for I think message ads, and I love this. I love these questions. I think the depth of these questions is amazing. Will this campaign cannibalize my existing search campaign? So, like I answered in the last section, it won't, because the algorithm learns and tries to understand what are the kind of keywords and what is the kind of audience that is more likely to click on the message asset versus clicking on your other search campaigns. You could have similar keywords in multiple in let's say the message asset campaign versus let's say your search campaign, which is taking the user to the traffic to the website. You don't have to worry about whether they are competing with each other, because messaging asset optimizes for an audience which has a very different propensity to click on, let's say, and to convert on a messaging platform, versus there'll always be enough audiences who would want to go onto the website. So they actually complement each other. The algorithm learns on that. They don't cannibalize with each other at all, if set up with all the best practices. I hope that answers. We can move to the next question.
Okay, moving on to the next question. How do I control which search terms AI Max expands into, specifically to prevent AI Max from bidding on brand terms and near me terms that I want to keep in separate campaigns? Thank you for this question. I think we get this very often when we are speaking to customers about AI Max. So, to limit serving on brand terms, please use the brand exclusions feature available at the campaign and ad group level. I'd taken you through this feature earlier today. You can just exclude your brand list that you can create at your account level. So, go to your campaign level or ad group level and put it as a brand list exclusion. And then you will limit the serving on brand terms. It'll ensure that that campaign does not trigger for any of those branded terms. And to not serve on certain types of keywords, let's say near me or any other type of keyword, add these as negative keywords in either exact, phrase, or broad match, depending on the extent of negation required by you and your business. Hope that answers that question. And we will move on to the fourth and the last question for today. Okay, the last question is, does adding URL exclusions or negative keyword lists actually restrict expansion of the campaign, or does it just reduce impression share? So, URL exclusions and negative keywords will ensure that your ad does not participate in those particular auctions. So, if you've added a negative keyword and a user searches for that exact keyword, your ad will not match. It will ensure that your ad does not participate at all in that auction. If you add URL exclusions, let's say it's for a particular product or a particular category page, we will ensure to not crawl that particular URL and to not surface it in your landing as your final landing page. Overall, this does lead to reduced overall reach for your campaign because from the earlier reach, you are removing certain expansion features. So you could see reduced overall reach, of course. However, the usage of these features totally depends on your final goal and the reasoning behind wanting to exclude certain targeting or certain content like negative keywords or URL exclusions. But please do use them judiciously and use them when required for your business or your campaign or your account structure. Hope that answers the last question. So, thank you everyone for being with us thus far. Before we leave, if you want to stay connected and be the first one to know the latest product announcements, get personalized resources, and also get support to make the most out of Google Ads, please do sign up to our Accelerate with Google Hub. The QR code is on your screen. Please do scan it. I'm going to give you a few seconds more to just scan it to sign up. And again, please do not forget to fill the feedback form. It should be on your screens. Your feedback will help us craft the right content for the next set of sessions as well. And we hope today was helpful. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And we will see you in the next session. Thank you.